Why is my mother's photo in your mansion? The question hits him harder than any boardroom ambush, harder than any market crash. Carter, 45 years old, billionaire, heir to the Carter empire, actually forgets how to breathe because standing in the marble foyer of his $40 million mansion is a 10-year-old black girl holding a tray of homemade sweets. And she has his eyes on. Behind her, in a gold frame on the wall, is a photograph he spent 11 years trying to bury. A young black woman in a white dress, smiling like the future belongs to her. Grace, his Grace. The woman he thought died in an accident a decade ago. The girl's hands tremble just slightly around the tray, but her voice doesn't. She's my mother, she says. Grace Thompson. That's her in your picture. So I'll ask again. Her gaze flicks to the frame, then back to his face, sharp and unblinking. Why is my mother's photo in your mansion? Ava Thompson shouldn't be here. She shouldn't be standing under crystal chandeliers in a house that could pay off the national debt of a small country. She shouldn't smell faintly of cooking oil and cheap detergent in a place that smells like imported flowers and old money. She should be at school, thinking about math tests, not morphine doses, but life doesn't care what a 10-year-old should be doing. Not when your mother has advanced cancer. Not when the roof leaks and the fridge is empty. Not when you've been selling sweets on the street since you were 8 just to keep the lights on. For weeks, Ava has walked the rich neighborhoods with her tray, knocking on doors, smiling politely, saying, "Would you like to buy something to help my mom with her treatment?" Your mother. William whispers, staring at the photo like it might answer him. She died. There was an accident, a funeral. Funny, Ava cuts in calmly, because she's very much alive. She shrugs, too old, too tired for a 10-year-old. Well, alive for now. Cancer doesn't exactly do part-time. She watches him like a scientist watches a reaction. But I'm sure someone as rich as you already knew that. Right? Something ugly twists in his chest. If Grace is alive, if this girl is really... How old are you? He asks. 10. I'll be 11 next month. She smiles, but it's not shy. It's the satisfied smile of someone who just solved a problem. Which is interesting, she adds, when you line up the dates, isn't it? The world tilts because she's right. If Grace didn't die, if she was pregnant when she disappeared, if Ava is 10, then someone has been lying to him for more than a decade. Someone took Grace. Someone took his child, and that someone watched him bury an empty coffin. Do you want to see more pictures? He offers weakly, as if context might fix this. Ava doesn't even glance at the walls. Actually, she says, I want to see the papers. His throat tightens. What papers? The accident papers, she says. The ones that say my mother died. Police reports, death certificate, funeral home records. Those don't just vanish, do they? It hits him like a punch. He never saw them. Not one. My mother handled everything, he says slowly. I was a mess. She said it was better if she took care of it all. Ava tilts her head. How convenient. She says it like she's commenting on the weather. Is your mother still alive, Mr. Carter? No, he says. She died 3 years ago. Oh, Ava nods once. Well, that's a shame. We can't ask her why she faked my mother's death. The sarcasm in her voice could cut glass. This isn't a lost, confused child. This is cross-examination. She steps closer. Confusing would be not knowing why I'm here. He stares at her, stunned. You planned this, he realizes. You planned coming here. It wasn't hard to find you, she says. You're kind of famous. She pulls a cracked phone from her pocket. Library has free internet. Carter Enterprises, founded 1995. Net worth disgusting. Son of Victoria Carter. Favorite charities, favorite tie brand, favorite yacht. You're very searchable. And memories surge up like vomit. His mother insisting on a closed casket. Refusing to let him see Grace. One last time. The speed of the funeral. The way she'd spent months tearing Grace apart. She's using you. She's not our kind. She'll ruin everything. The way she'd said, cold as ice. You'll thank me one day. William swallows hard. It was my mother, he whispers. Victoria. Bingo, Ava says softly. Rich, powerful white matriarch decides her son's black girlfriend is a problem. Poor girl conveniently dies. You drown in grief, she controls the story. Everyone wins, except the poor girl and the baby she's carrying. He sinks onto a chair, nausea rising. How can you be so sure, he asks. Because last night, Ava says, when my mom was rambling again, she mentioned a name I didn't know. Her eyes sharpen. Montgomery and Associates. What do you want from me, Ava? He finally asks. Her answer is instant. Justice. The word lands like a stone between them. My mother is dying because someone stole her life once already, Ava says. You lost 11 years with your kid because someone lied, and that someone got away with it. Her fingers tighten on the tray. People like that don't stop at one family, Mr. Carter. They do it over and over, until someone makes them stop. He really looks at her now, his jawline, his eyes, his stubbornness. It's like staring at a smaller, sharper version of himself. What happens if I go to this law firm and demand answers? He asks. Then we find out exactly how many laws your mother broke to keep us apart, Ava says, and how many families your name helped destroy. Old contracts, email printouts, legal summaries he'd signed without reading because his mother said, trust me. Ava should be overwhelmed. Instead, she looks annoyingly at home perched in a leather chair, feet not touching the floor, scrolling through reports like they're comic books. I found something, she announces, walking in with a mug of coffee almost bigger than her hands. You should be in bed, he said. She ignores that. Your mother didn't die the way the news said, Ava says. It wasn't some random accident. A chill crawls up his spine.
What do you mean?
I pulled traffic reports and public record, she says, sliding her cracked phone across the desk. She crashed on a road she almost never used, coming back from a meeting. Her finger taps the screen. Mr. Carter, a smooth voice says, Dr. Richard Montgomery here. We'd like to schedule an urgent meeting regarding sensitive matters connected to your mother's estate. What kind of matters? William asked, forcing his voice steady. I'd prefer to explain in person. Some decisions from the past may be impacting the present. When the call ends, Ava's already smirking. They're nervous, she says. Lawyers don't suddenly grow a conscience after 3 years. Someone told them we're digging. That's impossible, he says. No one knows. No one we saw, Ava corrects. She points out the window. Across the street, a black car sits with its engine off, windows tinted. Been there since yesterday, she says. I don't think they're here for the view. A cold knot settles in his stomach. What do we do? He asks. We go, Ava says, to the meeting. Just us? She pulls a business card from her pocket and flicks it onto the desk. He reads the name. Samantha Torres, investigative journalist. To a blackmail and manipulation network your mother helped build, Samantha replies. Judges, politicians, business rivals. Your mother used Montgomery and Associates to make people disappear on paper or in real life. William feels like his insides are being ripped open. She didn't just go after Grace, Samantha goes on. We've counted at least 15 families. Threats, fake deaths, forced separations. Always the same firm. Always the same pattern. The same pattern Ava has been seeing since she was 8 years old and didn't have a word for it. Not anymore. The following night. The senior partners of Montgomery and Associates file into their glass-walled conference room for an emergency strategy session. They stop dead. At the head of the table, legs too short for the chair, laptop open, sits a 10-year-old girl. Good evening, gentlemen, Ava says politely. Hope you don't mind the change in seating. Who are you? Dr. Montgomery demands. Where's security? Busy, Ava replies, turning her laptop. On the screen, live footage shows their own security guards in the lobby being questioned by federal agents. Cardboard boxes full of half-shredded documents are being wheeled back inside. They were trying to take files out the back door, she says. Someone tipped off the FBI that you might be about to destroy evidence. The door opens again. Montgomery goes white. That recording is illegal, he snaps. Inadmissible. Not with a warrant, Ava says, sliding a document across the table. You shouldn't discuss getting rid of people on unsecured phones. It's bad form, Another audio clip plays. Another partner's voice. Victoria Carter is becoming unstable. She threatens to expose everything. We can't let her flip. The accident needs to look clean. The room goes silent. You killed my mother, William says quietly. Montgomery licks his lips. Your mother knew what this was, he says weakly. We solved problems for her. Sometimes those problems were people. Like Grace Thompson, Samantha cuts in, laying photos across the table. Fake death. Blackmail. A stolen life. And 14 other families, she adds. All with your signatures on the paperwork. A spreadsheet pops up on Ava's laptop. Total estimated profit, she reads. $847 million over 20 years. All on the backs of people who were supposed to go away quietly. One partner snorts, desperate. She's a child. No judge will in this meeting, she adds. It's being live streamed on Carter Enterprises' official channels. She smiles just a little. Say hi to 2 million viewers. Montgomery's knees almost buckle. You've destroyed us, he whispers. No, Ava says. You destroyed yourselves the moment you decided money mattered more than people. She stands, small and unshakable. We just turned the lights on. Handcuffs snap shut. Agents lead men who thought they were untouchable out of their own temple of glass. And somewhere, in some darker room in some other city, someone watching a quiet feed mutters, from other kids, from women who ran, from families who finally learned the truth about the accidents that took their loved ones. Another scholarship letter, Grace says, opening thick cream stationery. This one's from Harvard, full ride. Apparently, they'd like to reserve you for 2032. Ava snorts. Relax, she says. I just figured out fractions. William walks in, tablet in hand. Turns out investors like companies that clean up their mess instead of burying it. Montgomery and Associates is gone. The partners are in prison. Corrupt judges and politicians have been indicted. 14 families have gotten settlements. All of them got something more important. Proof they weren't crazy. And the last guy from the network, Ava asks without looking up. Arrested yesterday, William says. The FBI says it'll take years to untangle everything your work exposed. Then she grins. Sleep in, she says. Learn video games. Go to school. Maybe start a club for kids who like bringing down corrupt adults in their spare time. They laugh. Real laughter. Loud enough to bounce off the high ceilings and echo in rooms that used to feel hollow. Outside in the garden, sunlight hits the roses just right. Months ago, a little girl walked past them carrying a tray of sweets and a question sharp enough to cut through 11 years of lies. Now she runs past them as a daughter, a survivor, a warning. You don't need age or a title, or $1 billion. If her story lit even the smallest fire in you, remember this. Sometimes the people who change everything aren't the ones in charge. They're the ones who refuse to stay quiet.